Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have posted an advert for a lead psychologist on LinkedIn. Eric Lamela are returning to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Sky Germany are reporting that Sebastian Kell is now the leading candidate for a role at Tottenham as the new sporting director. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Lee and this is another episode of the Daily Tottenham News Headlines. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel, like, share and comment in the comment section below. If you're listening on audio platforms, please hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. So, moving on to today's headlines. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have posted an advert for a lead psychologist on LinkedIn as they try to improve the mentality of the squad. The advert, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, is committed to building a world-class performance environment for our men's first team. As part of the ambition, we are seeking an outstanding performance psychologist to join our performance team. This is a high-impact role embedded with the men's first team environment at Hotspur Way. Working as part of a multidisciplinary team, you will lead the delivery of evidence-based psychological support to elite professional players. The role encompasses individual player support, systemic work across the coaching and performance staff, and ongoing development of a psychologically improved performance culture throughout the team. This role demands a practitioner who is credible, discreet, highly effective in a Premier League environment, capable of building trust with the players and coaches while operating with the professional rigour expected at the highest level of the game. Eric Lamela on returning to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yeah, it feels amazing. Thank you for the welcome. Yes, first time back as a fan. I have still a lot of messages from Spurs fans. You know my love for this club is big. I spend a lot of good memories here and the fans are always my help also. Eric Lamela on his favourite memories at Spurs being such a close group under Mauricio Pochettino. Like I said before, a lot of memories. It was special for me, this club. I spent many years and now for me it's a special moment because I'm here. I look at the people and it's fantastic to be here. I played many games. I enjoyed a lot. We were doing well. We had an amazing team and I enjoyed every season here. To play in this stadium meant a lot. The people are amazing. They make you feel very good every game. And of course, as a player, it's the best. I think we reached the Champions League final. It was the best moment. It was brilliant. Everyone was fantastic. This moment is forever in my mind. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but this is football. There were so many times with that team, so many special moments along the way. We had a very good group. We were fighting all together always. Our relationship was amazing. I think this means a lot in football. When you have a good group, it's better. It's easier to be fighting for good things. Eric Lamela on always playing with his heart and fighting. When I came to the first team, I understood that in the Premier League, you have to fight, and also the way I feel about football. I always give my all. This is best I can do after sleeping well. I feel if I give everything, it's good. It was amazing to play here. I feel proud and nothing else. On what advice would you give to players that come to Tottenham Hotspur? The advice is to let them know to come. For me, it was a fantastic to be here. The club is amazing. It's always better and better. This is family also. The fans are something different. And Sky Germany are reporting that Sebastian Kell is now the leading candidate for a role at Tottenham Hotspur as the new director. Spurs board want him to rebuild the team alongside Johan Lang. Kell's career as a top player, his management skills and his extensive international work are highly valued within the club and during the conversations. However, a quick decision does not appear imminent. Sources close to Kell indicate that the former Borussia Dortmund sporting director has not yet decided whether he wants to return to the game immediately or take some time off first. So, very interesting comments there. Interesting to see. Apologies, I'm just distracted slightly there. Interesting to see that Tottenham are looking for a psychologist to work in their sporting environment. I guess it's something that happens a lot these days. We probably don't take a lot of notice of it. But because it's Tottenham and because we are going through such a difficult time, it seems that every story becomes a bigger story than it is. And I think the fact that everything now seems to go through LinkedIn, it kind of, expands it even further because lots of people are on LinkedIn from their own professional life. So, and I think, in terms of being transparent and fair in terms of your recruitment policies, you have to be out there using the facilities that are available, and LinkedIn does provide that. I don't think it's a strange thing to do, but like for me, I guess football has evolved so much over the years, hasn't it, that some of this stuff becomes really vital. But for me, I think if your players are happy in their environment and they're working with someone with a bit of, number one, stability. I think stability is a massive thing. This constant change of direction is not helpful. But I think if the players can connect with the coach, connect with the people around them, and you create that atmosphere of support and direction, then that helps more than anything. I think the psychological impact is around if a player's having a mental block on something or they're suffering with something that's really difficult for them, then I think you have to maybe consider that and look at things that may well assist in making people happy and so on. But for me, I'm just a bit unsure as to the depth of that. I've managed teams of people, not necessarily from a football perspective, but management is management, and people always have problems, right? So you always have to have someone that they can talk to and so on. And I guess the demands on the manager are so much that can he really spend the time talking to someone about some personal stuff? I'd like to think that they would make an amount of time for that. But if there's professional help in there that's required, then I think that's important. And I think the other thing which kind of springs to mind as well is those players that are suffering from injuries, long-term injuries that keep returning. I'm thinking, how Sessegnon was, just returning from injury and then getting injured again. Mo Kudus currently going through that. Bentancur, who kind of came back and then got injured again, now been out for sort of 4 months and stuff. Psychologically, that must give you a bit of an impact. So it's kind of worth having that support in there, in that structure. But in terms of helping them, over the line to be able to play football better, I'm not sure that that's, really required. I think it's about, clear tactics, clear confidence, and clear support from the coaching team to ensure that the players can do the right things and play in the right way. But that's just my personal opinion. Kind of moving on to Eric Lamela. Good to see him back. Good to see him back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I guess Eric will always be a bit of a legend at Spurs. I mean, we throw that word around quite easily these days. But I think him facing up to a very agitated Jack Wilshere and laughing in his face will always stick with me as a great moment. And the Rabona, of course, against the same team, will always be a fantastic moment. But again, with Lamela, I think his time at Spurs is marred by the amount of injuries he had, the time he had off, the fact that he seemed to rarely be available. Obviously, a talented player, had ability. It just didn't work out at Tottenham in the end. He was never a key player for us, unfortunately. But it's nice to hear his words where he talks about feeling at home there, the fans being fantastic for him, being supportive and so on, and the great times that he had personally. Because obviously it's not just about that 90 minutes that we watch, it's about the whole time they spend together as a squad, as a team and so on. So it's good to know that there were some good times in there and that he felt very supported and so on. But again, for me, Eric, obviously talented, but we just didn't get the best out of him. Some moments in there that will live forever, that we kind of see on repeat every so often, don't we? Those moments. But it's a shame that we didn't really get the best out of him, especially with our Argentinian history and so on. We've always had those red-blooded Argentinians in the team, and and he was that representative at that time. So just a shame, really, that it didn't really work out. But good to see him back. I think anyone who played for Tottenham at any kind of level should always be given that opportunity to come back and feel that they are part of this team and hold a special place. I'd like to hope that they do feel like that. And then obviously moving on to the final headline today, Sebastian Kell being put forward as a leading candidate as a new director. It's been reported in Sky Germany. Obviously he's Borussia Dortmund ex-sporting director, and and he's only been out of the game for about a month. So really, really early days. Obviously, this is in terms of a replacement for Fabio Paratici rather than Johan Langer, who a lot of us were hoping he would be moved on. But I think this is more about Paratici because the club did want a two sporting director kind of process, one to look after the first team recruitment and all that kind of stuff, and one to kind of look after youth and all the stuff that you have to think about, which we probably wouldn't think about, but a club would need to, in terms of how the training facilities work, how they're set up, who looks after the maintenance, all that kind of stuff. And then of course he'd be looking after things like youth recruitment, the loans and all that kind of stuff. And I think that probably suits Lang more than the first two things. He doesn't seem to have that pool of players. He doesn't seem to be able to motivate players to come to the club and so on. Is Sebastian Kell the man to do it? I don't know. I don't know whether he is or not. Only time's really going to tell. But we absolutely need something better than Johan Langer. And maybe if this guy comes in, then maybe that does spell the end for Johan Langer as well, because at least you'll have someone who can oversee both until they can get someone in for that particular role if they need someone differently. But for me, I'd rather keep Johan Langer away from the first team, and if Kell can do that for the club, then so much the better, because at this moment in time it feels rather dire that we're not able to to bring the right level of player in, and we need to do that. And we need to change our overall structure anyway, in terms of, the type of player we're going for, the type of wages we're playing, the expectation from them, from those players, and so on, if that's going to take us in the right direction, because obviously where we are at the moment is just dire and not working. So we'll have to wait and see what comes of that. But yeah, it'll be interesting. At least we are still talking about this position, and hopefully that will move on at some point. I'm not convinced it will be before the end of the season. Five league matches to go. I'm not sure that it's really going to make that much of a difference at this point. But certainly as we head towards the summer transfer window, then there's a lot of work to do. Whether we're in the Premier League or in the Championship, there's still going to be a lot of work to do, because they're two different types of squad. So yeah, we'll see what comes out of that. Anyway, just a short one today, so thanks for watching. My name's Lee. I have my own YouTube channel, Lee the Dorset Spur. You'll find me over there on YouTube or on all the socials. You can find me. Please do head over there and see what it's all about, and give me some love if you wouldn't mind. Of course, please do subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribing already. I don't know where you've been. Hit that notification bell, because that will tell you every time the channel goes live or puts out a new video. And you don't want to miss anything that comes out, because this is the #1 YouTube channel for news and conversation about all things Tottenham, for sure. If you're listening on audio platforms, please do hit that follow button and leave a review. Again, it also helps the channel grow, and provides much needed evidence to the technical algorithms that I, as an old man, have no idea about. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Really appreciate your listening time, and we'll see you on the next one. Up the Spurs.